I've got a hard truth for you. In the next few months, you and I have some new TTRPG rules to learn. Most likely that'll be the sort of new edition of Dungeons & Dragons, something brand new like Daggerheart or the MCDM system, or another game you've just not tried before. I'm going to show you how to become an expert, a walking encyclopedia for your system of choice, not just learning the basics. So let's do it. Let's genuinely master the games that we master. My name's Rich, and this is Renegade Rolls. Is everything's made up and the rules don't matter a good excuse for not learning the rules at all? Is reading the rulebook cover to cover the best approach? Will my printer survive another rules update for Daggerheart? The answer to all those questions is no, especially with my printer. There's literally nothing on there. The best sessions are those where I'm able to give my players as much GM time as possible, whether that's rolling dice, roleplay moments, or sharing lore. We also want to be able to teach the rules to our players. More on that later, as expecting them to have the same knowledge as the person running the game is likely to be wishful thinking. One more facet of true game mastery is understanding the intentions and overall vibes of the game designers. This is especially useful with edge cases or things not covered in the rules. We can make rulings that feel right and not jarring to the system. I want to learn a new TTRPG system. It looks so cool, but there is so much to learn. Hey, stressed Rich. It'll be okay, I promise. For this video, I'm going to be using Daggerheart as an example. I've been learning the system recently and I'm in the middle of running a 10-shot mini campaign with the playtest rules. You can see my initial thoughts on the system up here somewhere. Since then, I've played 5 campaign sessions as well as a load of practice one-shots with small groups who are curious to give it a try. As it's brand new to everyone and my players are universally lovely, I've had a lot of leeway when it comes to being fuzzy on the rules, but I want to get the mechanics nailed so I can run a game without the book. Things to know about Daggerheart. Number 1, the rulebook is long, like hideously long. 335 pages currently with hardly any pictures. Number 2, the core mechanics are actually pretty easy. Number 3, there is a GM cheat sheet and a player cheat sheet as well, both single pages. This is something which every game system should have. Number 4, it does get complicated with tons of modifiers from spells and abilities. These are all player facing rather than GM facing, so keeping track of them all can be tough. But it's hard, and I keep getting mixed up. Oh buddy, do you want to hear a joke? Sure. What's a beholder's favourite food? I don't know. What's a beholder's favourite food? Ice cream. Get it? Ice cream. Oh, I hate you. I'm going to guess a lot of you have a decent knowledge of D&D 5e. Having it as a frame of reference is good in some ways, but can be bad in others. We can't unlearn those mechanics to learn new ones fresh, so how can we keep them separate in our heads? Learning game systems is like learning languages. Once you've learned a few, you begin to see the commonalities between them, and you know which elements to look out for that differ between them. Hello, hola, hallo, hey, bonjour. Oh, damn it, French. I found that learning my first system was hard. My second system, a bit easier, but I got mixed up a lot, and systems after that much easier again, as I don't really have a default set of expectations anymore, other than some of the fundamental things which are common across almost all TTRPGs. Each system does have its own nuances though, and mechanics can vary wildly between systems. Rules for disengaging and attacks of opportunity are ones which I see different approaches to in every system. D&D 5e uses a character's reaction to make an attack of opportunity. Pathfinder 2nd edition has the step action, but in general most of the time you don't get an attack against a withdrawing creature. Cypher system doesn't use them at all, but does have an optional rule. Dungeon Crawl Classics has withdrawal, which is a single free attack. Daggerheart doesn't mention it, so I'll assume until I hear otherwise that it's free. The repercussions for assumptions and house rules are always worth thinking through though, if you have the chance. In this case, it will mean that combat is much less sticky than in D&D 5e or Dungeon Crawl Classics. This will allow player characters and enemies to be potentially much more mobile, manoeuvring into better positions tactically, though could lead to an infinite chase loop where you just can't catch each other. This is going to be overwhelming. Are there any tools I can use to make it easier? Why yes, stressed Rich. We don't want you to be overwhelmed or underwhelmed. How about just whelmed? where learning feels possible and hopefully a fun challenge. That rulebook is intimidating, but only around half of it is stuff that's important for us to know, and maybe only a 50th of it is stuff that we should actively try and memorise. When learning anything new, I like to break down a big question like, what are the rules of this TTRPG, into some simpler ones. How does character creation work? What does combat look like? What are the general vibes of the system? It's at this point when I've found the important sections that I begin to write summary notes. This is a good first pass, but we can save ourselves some time by looking for summaries that other people have made and then critiquing them while reading the relevant sections. Have they described things in the way that you would have done? Are they just plain wrong in places? Taking your own notes is good, but reviewing a summary alongside the source is a much more active way of engaging with what you're reading, rather than just summarising for yourself. As I'm nice and kind, there's a document linked in the description where you can check my Daggerheart summary. Everything in this video is correct as per version 1.4. I'll add notes in the description as and when things change to try and keep things relevant. And this being the internet, if I get something wrong, I'm certain someone will tell me. We can read and take notes to our heart's content, but we won't know what we've learned until we're tested. Explaining to someone else is a great way to formalise your own knowledge, and you'll quickly find holes in what you know. Bonus points if you try and explain from first principles to a non-TTRPG player. More on how to teach TTRPGs to others later on. If you don't have anyone handy, something programmers will often use is the rubber duck method. Try explaining to your rubber duck and you'll get a lot of the same benefit. Corporate duck, punk duck, and Dutch prog metal opera duck are very good listeners. This is really good for making sure you understand the general principles, as understanding should always come before attempting memorization, and just learning something by rote is not likely to stick in your head for long, as it doesn't have the context and the framework to attach it to. Once you're at the memorization stage, just writing notes and then trying to remember them isn't the ideal approach. We need to test ourselves. Flashcards are a great way of doing this. You'll be glad to know that Obsidian, as well as being my absolute favourite TTRPG campaign management tool, also has a flashcards plugin that allows you to set up question and answer pairs, test yourself, and grade yourself on how difficult you found the question. The setup is super quick and gives you a ton of options for when and which cards to show you as you start to memorise the answers. Constantly testing and getting feedback is the best way to make knowledge stick. Sooner or later, you'll need to take a leap and actually jump in and run a game. You'll very quickly find out where you're strong or need to improve, but as long as everyone is clear that you're still all learning, it'll be okay. But the Daggerheart rules have changed again. Why does Matt Mercer hate me? I'm sorry to be the one to break this to you, but Matt Mercer probably doesn't think about you at all. Also, it's Spencer Stark who hates you. He's the lead designer. Matt Mercer is an additional game designer. The details of the Daggerheart rules might change. Some balance issues and tweaks are almost certain, but I'll be surprised if there are going to be any fundamental changes between now and the final release date. By understanding the general principles of the game, if there are any specific changes, we'll still have that framework to fall back on. In the next versions, I'll be learning about the more detailed NPC rules as well as the rules for the combat wheelchair, so not actually having to learn the fundamentals again from scratch. So I'm not too worried about any future rules changes, more that my printer might finally give up the ghost. All of this, including Matt Mercer continuing not to think about you, will apply when the new D&D edition is released, and you can apply these skills to basically any system. I figured it out, life is good, and I'm looking forward to next session. Well done, no longer stressed Rich, I'm proud of you. You know you don't need those glasses for reading, right? I know, but they make me look smarter and different to you, rest of video Rich. Fair point. Anyway, once you're feeling confident with the rules, teaching your players is a good next step. I've got your back there. This video is all about how to teach TTRPGs with advice from actual teachers. I'll see you there or at a table near you, rolling an improbable succession of ones. Cheers.